Hello?
Hi, can I speak to Robert, please?
Yeah, this is Robert.
Hey, Robert, how you doing? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning.
Sorry, from where?
Brooke and Jubal in the Morning? The radio show? You are obviously a big-time listener, I can tell.
He's a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not at all, are you, Robert? Robert, we do a radio show in the morning from 6 to 10 every morning, Moving 92.5, and we recently got an email about you from one of our listeners.
All right.
Her name is Bethany. She told us about your date and also told us that you haven't been returning any of her phone calls after your date. So we said, hey, why not let us call Robert, see if we can get him on the phone and find out if you did something wrong.
Okay. That's weird.
I know it's kind of weird. Bethany did tell us that she thinks you might have thought that she was hammered. She told us about the hiccups, said that she got like a fit of laughter because of the hiccups, and then told us that you guys got kicked out of the wine tasting class because they thought she was drunk. Is that why you're not calling her back?
I mean, she was definitely tipsy. There's no question about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, none of that was good, but, you know, in between the jugs of wine she was drinking, she leaned over to me and said, the instructor reminds me of my ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
No. All right.
That's
Talking
never
about
cool,
your ex
dude.
during a first date. Talking about your ex during any date kind of sucks.
Yeah.
That's understandable,
It kind
Robert.
of sucked, but the weird part was the instructor was like 65 years old.
Really?
That is kind of a funny thing.
I know. Yeah, you're like, what? Are you dating a 65-year-old? What did? How does that guy remind her of her ex?
I didn't know if I should even ask, you know, or even get into it, but this guy was wearing bifocals. He had a receding hairline.
You're like, so.
I said, what makes this guy remind you of your ex-boyfriend? And, I mean, this guy had a receding hairline, a pot belly, he wore bifocals, and
Did she? You think she had like beer goggles on, and she's like, that guy is hot.
That Ben Franklin one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't even know if I should even get into it any further, but she said my ex-boyfriend was 65.
She dated a 65-year-old?
Yeah.
Wow. She left that out of her story, Robert.
Yeah.
How old is Bethany? Because Bethany sounds like she's a lot younger than 65.
I think she's 28 or something.
Jeez.
But the same vein, I mean, you got to, like, how are you judging somebody based on their ex? I get, like, bringing him up, but how does that affect you?
Well, it made me wonder, why is she on a date with me when she's had relationships with guys twice my age?
Yeah. Robert, why don't we ask her that? Because she's actually on the line listening.
Oh my God, you really, like, that was why you didn't call me back, was because you thought my ex-boyfriend was too old for me? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that was
ridiculous.
the turning point for me.
But it has nothing to do with you. I mean, I was there with you. Obviously, like, I'm not dating that person anymore, and we were having a good time before we got kicked out of the thing.
You're 28. I just didn't understand why you would even date someone twice your age. Just really weirded me out.
Well, it just happened. It wasn't like I set out to start dating older men. He was like a friend of the family, kind of.
That's worse.
So, like, Harrison Ford is, like, handsome, no matter how old he is. I didn't ask you about any of your exes because it didn't matter to me.
Yeah, and Robert, don't you have some crazy, stupid people that you've dated in your past that I'm sure if she found out about, she could judge you for?
I suppose, but they certainly were in my age range. So.
Yeah. None of them were about to collect Social Security.
I mean, also, Bethany, you got to think you offered up that information. He wasn't necessarily asking.
Well, I guess I did. But it was just, like, a funny thing. Like, I was already laughing. I was already, like...
Totally.
It was kind of like the instructor was, like, getting mad at us and, like, looking, like, over his glasses at me. And I was, like, kind of like that, ooh, he reminds me of my ex.
Oh, my God.
See, that's gross. I don't want to be thinking about 65-year-old dudes with walking canes and bifocals.
It wasn't like that. Like I said, he was just older, and I liked him, and I liked you. And so what's the problem?
Older is, maybe 40. I mean, I can understand that. But this guy was getting near retirement age. I mean, this guy is probably playing bingo on Wednesday nights or something. I don't know.
Oh, my God. I can't even. You have no idea. Age is just a number. It's just I like you. So it doesn't even matter.
Look, okay, I'm sorry. I can't help how I feel. You know, I can't go out with a girl and, you know, every time I look at her, I'm thinking of some old guy, some crotchety old guy. So,
You know, I mean, that's your thing. If you're into old men, that's fine, you know, but I choose the person. I choose the person, and besides, only old people go to wine and cheese things anyway, FYI. And have a good time, and, like, I mean, you're being rude and judging, so you did me a favor.
all right, fine by me. You know, good luck with your early bird specials.
I'm guessing that you guys don't want to go out on a second date based on that little conversation right there, but I still have to ask. Robert, would you like to go out with Bethany on a second date? I will pay for it.
No.
Okay. Bethany, would you still like to go out with Robert?
No, I'm going to find someone less judgy and a little more in my maturity range.
Yeah. Start right now. Here, the Elks Lodge has a bunch of dudes
Oh, yeah.
you could hang out with.